know if that worked, and we might not even be live on Facebook, you guys. Jake Salazar and Larry Ulibarri, because Facebook went down, but that was our intro to the
Well,
I'm from Denver live stream.
I like
Hey, that was snazzy.
yeah, it built anticipation. But I'm with you. I'm not even sure, is Facebook working?
It is working, but I know here's what's funny is Jake called me up this morning, and Jake had problems with his profile anyway, and so he was just freaked out that Facebook had kicked him out again.
Oh no, you get this panic. You get a panic because you know why you get a panic? Because there's not a simple procedure. You can't call Facebook and have somebody help you or walk you through it. It's this big anonymous building where there's no doors or windows, and you have to just kind of go with this like bot response. It's a nightmare when you get disconnected from your pages.
Yeah, no, it does. Larry, turn up your mic a little bit if you can. But most users are now able to sign on Facebook after the outage today, Tuesday morning. That left them off of social media for over an hour. Facebook, Instagram, and Threads all appeared to have gone down for many users Tuesday, as more than 500,000 people report issues logging in. And the first thing that I do when something like that happens, I go, strangely enough, I go to Twitter to see if Facebook is
right.
You have to go to platforms want to talk shit about each other. Right. Because if Twitter goes down, everybody on Facebook's like, Twitter's down. What the fuck?
Well, we need a way of communicating. Like, are we all meeting on TikTok in case of an emergency?
Yeah, that's right. That's the rally point.
Chris was the first one up this morning, and he was like, I'm locked out on my Instagram. And then I was like, oh, that's crazy. And then he's like, and Facebook. And I was like, he goes, check your Facebook. And I opened my Larry Gary Ulibarri Facebook page. That's my second profile page because I ran out on the first one. But so yeah, it wasn't working. So I got locked out. So I was like, ooh.
Yeah, well, society was almost normal again. It's funny that people are freaking out on it, but it was like that whole scene from The Simpsons where like Itchy and Scratchy ended, and then all the kids just went outside to play. That's totally what was happening to people right there. It's just like
that's why they had to rush right away. They're like, we got to get these people back on their phones.
Yeah,
like you are right, Jared. I did have a moment of panic this morning, only because I left Facebook on purpose back in 2014, and I was off of it until this year. And when I went to try to get back, I actually tried to get back on last year, and it took a year for me to get back onto like Facebook. Yikes. I was on Instagram, but I wasn't running like a similar profile, and it was on a different email and whatever. So like all the old pictures and anything I did, like honestly, before I got married, was locked up, and it was like, and nobody, and not even I could get to it. So I wasn't worried about it getting hacked.
Well, everyone should have access again. It turned back on. 150,000 or over 500,000 people were affected by it. I think it was way more. I think it was a way larger number than that. But everyone's back on and hating each other on social media again. So it's okay.
Well, no, the thing
everything's back to normal.
It's like it actually proved that people are still on Facebook. I was shocked. Hey, it made the news.
I think it's the habits of people. Like
news.
First thing you do, wake up, check the feed, even if it doesn't mean anything.
I know, but I mean, I think there's been always this talk of like the decline of Facebook or whatever, and it just proved that like people are still like, using that as the kind of the town square.
It's definitely still there. People use it. I was surprised when I got back on because I've been only using Instagram for so long.
Same.
How many of my old friends are still on there? Like how many people from high school immediately hit me up and were like, where have you been?
I know. And I thought,
I still live 10 miles away from you, man. Like we're fine. It's going to be okay.
You're like, I thought we were quitting this. I guess we're not. All right, cool.
Well, thank God for the followers because we have over 400,000 followers on the I'm from Denver Facebook page, a combined 475,000. So thank you guys. And if you are a follower, just know that you can now get the official I'm from Denver podcast with Larry Ulibarri, Jake Salazar, and myself, producer Wiggins. It's available wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, and all of that. But the goal with us now is to actually go live, right? So we're recording these episodes to kind of keep them up with mainstream as things are happening. And so you can also get past episodes where we talk about things that kind of are more just prevalent in what Colorado's dealing with.
Sure, like we got these like kind of like lives that we do, but then we're going to have some like long-term kind of like longer form podcast.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get right into it. Larry, you gave us this story about two Denver mail carriers who were robbed. Fox 31 did the story here, and so we're gonna play that back, and you guys can see what happened. And then Larry, we do have the ability to pause this as we need to, so
Sure.
we did jump in wherever you need. But let's show that story.
This will be the sound I make if I want to jump in. Caw-caw!
You can just jump in without
Please do that more.
It happened today in the Montbello neighborhood. That first incident happening near Bowling Drive in Duluth Court. About a minute or two away from that, the second incident happening in the 4600 block of Eureka Court. So let's go back to that video now. Take a closer look. Again, two mail carriers robbed at gunpoint today around 5 p.m. Police are currently looking for that white Hyundai Sonata. You see it on your screen in this neighborhood, slowly turning around in the other direction.
I think it's safe to assume that they just got a lot of bills. They got everybody's like junk mail, a bunch of like I guess there would be no more Bed Bath and Beyond 20% off coupons, but
I mean, to me, this is too random to not seem targeted.
like there's a
was
reason
that-
something
did they-
in the mail. made
yeah,
them
something
go,
that they knew was coming in the
right,
mail.
like some girl was like, I'm going to mail your wife and tell her everything that we've been doing, and I'm sending her those pictures.
So this is a white Hyundai Sonata, and it is pretty crazy. It's right in the middle of the day.
And then seconds later, what appears to be two men come from around that corner, running as fast as possible to get into that.
Well, I don't think they would. I don't think they would walk. You know what I mean?
That's me trying to intercept a D slip before my parents got it in high
Oh no,
school, right?
100%, dude.
Well, yo, you
100%.
gotta get me that mail right there.
Oh my
man.
God,
Like,
100%.
you have no idea.
You have no idea. You hit the nail on the head.
car. They then hop in that vehicle and the driver takes off from the scene. Police say they are looking for 3 to 4 people tonight and hope that releasing this video will help them track down those suspects. So we have just learned moments ago that those letter carriers, they were not hurt in this gunpoint incident, and the agency cannot release what was actually stolen. Now, USPS.
See, to Jake's point, something that we can't reveal what those top secret
Right, was it the
files.
Publishers Winners Clearinghouse sweepstakes winner?
Yeah, right? Yeah.
says it's currently working on a reward amount for anyone with information leading to an arrest. But if you do know anything at home, you're asked to call the United States Postal Service inspection. That number is listed for you on our website at kdvr.com.
Thanks to Fox 31 for that video. So yeah, that's
Right.
pretty crazy.
If you live in that area,
Yes, we promise not to leave you on hold for 5 hours.
if you
We call it government agency and just I'm here to report a crime.
if you live in that area, you can now get out of paying a couple bills. I never got it.
Just
Never
show them
got
that video. Yeah, it's like
They
Right.
I
stole
would've
my
paid this.
Excel bill. I don't know
Never
what you're
got it.
talking about. I never got it.
They stole it.
These guys, they promised they were going to pay for it. They totally
Right.
were. So, well, I think you're right. Pretty brazen to do that. Broad
It's
daylight,
blazing and brazen.
blazing
Well,
and
it's
brazen.
too targeted, right? It's like in that one area, like they just randomly are jacking the postal guy. Like, I mean,
Well,
who
I
does
mean,
that? Like,
right.
it's got to be targeted. They were looking
Well,
for something.
The postmen were in on it, without a doubt.
The
Amazing.
postmen
I don't know
Okay,
the
whatever.
postmen were like, dude, I'm not dying for this mail. Here, just take it, man. Like, here's the bag. Have the whole
Well,
bag.
For real though, but what was it though? Was it like packages and they're trying to like get some birthday checks that some grandma sent to their kid? Like what the hell?
Or there's something like that they know that was incriminating that was like about to get delivered to somebody.
Right, like
You
my
remember-
mom cannot find out I was arrested.
Right? Remember that movie Road Trip? They like literally drove across the United States to
For that.
stop the video from getting to that
Right.
guy's girlfriend, right? It
I
might
love
have been
that
something
movie.
like that.
I
All
love
things
that
that could have
movie.
been solved with a cell phone. So many problems in that movie just happened because no one had a cell phone.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Throwback classic.
That was
Hey,
an
well,
epic
speaking of
movie, though.
throwback movies, the Fan Expo in Denver, the Fan Expo Denver, which is expanded to 4 days this year, will be held Thursday, July 4th through July 7th at the Colorado Convention Center in downtown Denver. The first 6 guests for the 2024 Denver event were announced today. We got that right here. Let's see if we can bring that up.
Oh, nice.
So
Jason Lee,
it's
he's hilarious.
Jason Lee from My Name Is Earl, Mario
Tony
Lopez,
V. Tony V's right there in the
V, yeah.
middle.
Tony V,
Mario Lopez.
Ethan Suplee, who's that guy's been in everything.
Dude, he's
and,
been a
he's
lot,
funny.
man.
He's
Yeah.
funny.
He lost
Ben
some weight.
McKenzie. I watched Gotham. I didn't watch when the dudes from the OC. I never watched the OC, but I did
No,
watch
Ben
Gotham.
McKenzie's hot. Yep. love him.
Michelle Hurd from Star Trek Picard, and
Yep. And she was
Hollywood
on
Marie
Solo.
Combs.
She was in the movie Solo.
She was in movie what?
In the movie Solo.
Hello.
What was that?
The Han Solo movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And then Holly Marie Combs, who what was she in? I can't see what that is.
She was on Charmed.
Oh, she was on Charmed. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty exciting.
Man,
Those are
that
always
one went
funny
right over
events.
my head. I had no idea who that person. I was like, "Who's that last one?"
Tonight on the WB, Charmed.
So true. Well, it's cool to just, I mean, all those old school people, they're so lucky for social media because they definitely would have been just
Gone.
kind of gone.
Right. But so this is like
You gotta
basically.
stop. Hey, Jared, you're playing something right now.
No, I don't have anything playing. Yeah, nothing's
I
playing.
don't hear anything. Here's the thing. This is kind of like a Comic-Con.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's the Denver Fan Expo. So they have a bunch of people that they bring in all the time.
No, but do you dress up when you go to this, or do you not?
I'm sure some people do. I mean, I guess if you're gonna dress
Are we
up,
dressing up or not?
you gotta dress up
Totally.
as the dude from Saved by the Bell.
No, I'm just saying. Like, I have plenty of Star Wars costumes for all of us.
Although Tony V, the colleague from back in the day on KS175, he should dress up as Mario Lopez look-alike.
Right, and then they could do this whole thing like, oh, we're in the mirror. So it's like Mario Lopez is like eternally like 30. It's like
Right.
it's insane.
I mean, I would actually, you know what? I'd be really interested to talk to what's his name? The guy that was on the far right.
Jason, the guy from My Name Is Earl.
Ethan Suplee. He's been in some really cool movies. He was like in Remember the Titans, and he was even in Road Trip. It was at the very end. He was also in American History.
Titans.
He was
stand in love. Oh,
he was also like in American History X, which I mean, he's been in some like very kind of like
movies.
Well, not just big, but racially, charged / yeah, exactly, very provoking, very, very kind of changing of times.
Well, and he's had a huge body transformation too.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Right.
Lost a
Yeah,
lot
he
of
went
weight.
from like a heavyset guy, kind of typecasted, to just like this dude who took care of himself, and you almost don't even recognize him now. But yeah, he's been in every movie that you could think of.
Yeah.
Boy Meets World, even the dude was in Boy Meets World back in the day. So it's
Yeah.
like he really is kind of like he's probably the between Mario Lopez and him, probably the bigger names going there for sure.
Absolutely.
Rebel Wilson was like the female comedian who like lost a bunch of weight, and like her handlers, like all her agents, were like, "Oh, don't lose weight because you're like the funny fat girl." And then she lost weight and went away.
I thought you said Russell Wilson at first. I was like, what?
Russell Wilson also went away.
Right.
So the last thing that we're going to get into, again, we're doing this live and we're hanging out with you guys. You can get the new I'm from Denver podcast with Larry Uleberry, Jake Salazar, and myself, producer Wiggins, wherever you get your podcasts. But we're always talking about Denver things that are happening. This one, we're going to turn on. Hopefully you guys can hear this. What are the things you love and hate about Denver?
Yeah, what's the thing? So everybody gets one of each. So it's name something that you really love about Denver and something you don't like about Denver. And it's okay. Like there's obviously, enough things to not like around here to, give you both options. But I mean, I can go first.
Please. Either way.
Okay.
Age
You know what I
before
love
beauty,
about
man.
Denver?
Age before beauty.
Here's what I love about Denver. Honestly, I love the weather. And I know that sounds crazy, but like we really get like all 4 seasons. And I have friends that live elsewhere and they don't get that. And it's like if you're from here, you're used to having feels about when it starts getting cloudy. You have feels about when it's spring and rainy, just to be able to experience all those weather systems. And also when it is crappy, the next day it's gone. You know what I mean?
Even now, you're getting a little bit excited for spring. I think we all know that last winter snowstorm will hit eventually. And
oh, no, for sure. I took my shade sails down. Don't worry.
Yeah. All right. So the one thing you hate, what do you hate, Larry?
Okay, here's what I hate. I hate that there is little to no thought given about how the city's landscaping looks. If you look at the what they've done around like anywhere, like maybe in the tech center, in the better parts of town, it gets a little more lush. But when you visit major cities, you see the care that they take around their freeways, and they want people to have a certain feeling about intersections and stuff. And there's always trash strewn everywhere, and it's just no thought ever given to that. And
I can't show it on the screen right now, but the comments are just blowing up of things that people really hate. The landscaping is not one of them. Just so you
I know. I have to say that because the thing is, Chris and I talk about it all the time. And it's like, because we travel. Chris is a flight attendant, so we go to other cities and we know how pretty it is to drive around San Diego, how nice it is to drive around Atlanta, and how much care they give to the freeways in Orlando. And so there's always like beautiful landscaping and thought. You drive around Denver, it's trash. You can't bring anybody from DIA a beautiful route unless you really plan it out.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. You're very passionate about that landscaping. All right, Jake.
I mean, are we going to be a big boy city or not? Are we going to be a big boy city? Look at the mousetrap next to you drive around.
We might have some problems to solve before we get to the landscaping.
See, that's why it's always put to the last. That's why the city looks the way it does.
Okay.
I was allowed to have what thing I don't like.
You're really passionate about this landscaping. Let Jake do his love.
Okay, next, you're done. Your time is up.
I don't even know how to follow that.
Yeah. All right, Jake. Something you love.
My favorite thing. There's so many, but my favorite thing to do is opening day. That's a big fun day downtown
for baseball.
For baseball, yeah. That's
why is there not other opening days?
No.
Okay. There's no opening day of football or opening day of basketball.
Football has like the first game, but it's not opening day. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know.
That's okay.
You're too worried about the landscaping to care about opening day.
Obviously somebody on the show's gay.
Hey, the grass is really nice though in Coors Field.
There you go. There's
really close attention to the landscaping.
If you went to opening day, you would see great landscaping.
Only in that little area. You go outside of that, it's all trash and cigarette butts. I posted a picture. I went downtown, and in next to where we parked was a wig and a condom. I was like, really?
Yeah. What was all right. Okay, your time is up, Larry. This is on
Wiggins. What do you hate about
it? What does Jake hate? Yeah.
What do I hate about Denver? Oh man, it's like I got an A and a B. It's like I got one thing, but it's like an A and a B, right?
Okay.
Obviously, the traffic influx drives me crazy. And I don't know if it's people that are from Colorado, and I don't know if it's people that aren't from Colorado, but whoever's driving slow in the left lane. You got to knock that shit off. Like, you got to be over in the right lanes. Like, the left lane is clearly for people that don't mind getting.
So you know what? Half the population does not know that.
What's that, Larry?
Half the population does not know that rule about the passing lane being on the left, and the ones that don't know, they don't care. Like they're
like literally in the driving test that everybody had to take.
I understand that. Trust me, I've been talking about that.
Right.
Yeah, I've been talking about that on the radio for 20 years. And there's just a segment of the population that even if they know about it, they're going to be like, so what? I'm going over the speed limit. So suffer.
Yeah. All right. Well, I agree with all those. A lot of the comments are agreeing with you. I think for me, I love that you could just drive, and it's different now, but you used to be able to drive 45 minutes to be right in the mountains. There's a little traffic now, but it's like to literally go from city to the mountains in an hour's drive. That is pretty cool. I mean, it's like you can drive by an ocean and it's on the coast, you just see the ocean, but here you can actually go to like Idaho Springs, Estes Park. There's different areas and attractions in the mountains. So I love that. Right. I think that I do hate that the commute is so much longer than it ever was before, because there was a window.
You can't take his hate. Come up with your own hate. You stole.
Hey, listen, hate. I take that. Listen, that's a form of flattery right there, man. I think a lot of people that are from here definitely don't appreciate the traffic influx that's happening.
And he mixed the two together. He picked the people in the left lane driving slow. I picked just traffic in general. So
fine.
He picked two.
You know what? Here's the thing.
Mine. So blame him for picking mine.
We're a big city now. All you see, you can't even recognize the city sometimes when you drive around. But all you see is these big cranes everywhere and high rises going up. That means more cars. So it's only going to get worse until they really we get that self-driving car stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Which will be nice. I mean,
really will.
How you know what? Quick. If you have a self-driving car, do you get in trouble for this?
You know what? That's a good question. And I was also contemplating the fact that if you're in a self-driving car, we're all in self-driving cars, there's no more road rage because how are you going to get in a beef with the computer that's driving? You know what I mean?
Well, then you have every excuse for being late. You're like, listen, the car wouldn't go faster.
Right. You know the traffic.
Yeah.
Well, the comments are coming in. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Again, you can check out the podcast wherever you get the podcast, the I'm from Denver podcast. And what's cool, and we've talked about this is kind of a two-prong podcast, right? So we're live with you guys hanging out and recording this, but then we're doing a long form where we're actually talking to businesses, entrepreneurs, individuals in Colorado. But things happen so frequently in Colorado, and us being able to go live on the network with you guys like we are right now, that's the goal. Let's talk about things like going out, Facebook going out today, and having
we all panicked.
We all panicked and talking about that as it happened, and then talking to people. So there's kind of two prongs to this podcast and this live stream.
Well, and the podcast is up on multiple platforms. So we've got it on YouTube, we've got it on Spotify, we've got it on iTunes.
OnlyFans.
Yeah. None of us are wearing pants right now, and you can see the different feed. We all have cameras that are lower, but you have to pay for that. I wanted to give some of these people's responses really quick since they were on my Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram, but this is everybody's saying the cost of living is ridiculous here, but I would venture to say the cost of living is up everywhere in globally. So it's not just Denver. I think people get this tendency to just like, oh, it's what's happening here is only happening here. It's like, it's happening everywhere. A lot of people say they love the diversity, hate the commute, love the sunsets. And this person says they actually hate nothing about Denver.
Aw,
That's very nice.
Well, there you go. And if you guys are wondering who Jared is, that's me. No one's ever known my real first name. And actually, the only time that's used is like if I'm in trouble legally or by Jake.
Right. And that's usually because I'm dealing with legal stuff.
Yeah,
Exactly. There you go.
Or me.
That makes
You
so
know,
much
If
sense.
something happens here, I'm the guy that will be answering those. Like that's like
Here's what's funny is
that's my job in this. Other than being on this podcast, I also handle the other stuff, those kind of things.
well, when we were doing a lot of meetings on Zoom and stuff, I noticed that a lot of people were calling you Jared, and I know it bugs you. So after the meeting, I was like, why don't you tell people to call you Wiggins? And he's like, would you mind asking people to call me Wiggins?
You got it. See, I don't.
And I was like,
I can't stand working with you because
Why?
not only mean it in a bad way. I'm just saying that when I tell you something, this was years. This has gone on for years on
it's
radio.
supposed to be like a secret.
It is something is supposed to be like, hey Larry, did you know that I hide $10,000 in my freezer? I don't tell you.
Oh my God, I would
don't
not
tell
be
anyone.
telling people
And then the first thing you
Now
do is
people
go
know.
on air and say, hey guys, if you want to hide places, I know what Wiggins does. He hides $10,000 in his freezer. Like you just like nonchalantly mention it and like, oh, I'm sorry.
But I mean, listen,
He's not making a terrible point right now.
I know, but there's a big difference between correcting the name that you want people to call you versus now everybody thinks you have $10,000 in your freezer because you pulled that randomly out of your ass.
It's a bigger theme. It's a bigger theme. The show's over. Listen to the podcast. Watch us live in Denver.
You know, you can go to one of those websites and pay like $5 and find out where he lives. I mean,
I'm trying to wrap, Larry, please, seriously, trying to wrap up here. All right. God. Hashtag I'm from Denver, Larry Uleberry, Jake Salazar, Wiggins. And that's a wrap. Now you know where I hide my money and my first name. So thanks. This has been a great episode.
Next episode, we'll get the last four of his social.
right. No, the whole thing.